either watch the replay later, or I'm sure they will catch up because it's not that hard. So welcome. Thank you for coming to our placement information session. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not going to take very long. And what I'm going to do is just go through the deck really quick. It's got some screenshots. I'll show you where to find things online. And then if there's any questions, happy to hang around until people have exhausted those. And then now you can get on with the rest of your evening. So anyway, as we usually start, here we go. The Junior League of Boston is an organization of women committed to promoting volunteerism, developing the potential of women, and improving communities through the effective action and leadership of trained volunteers. Its purpose is exclusively educational and charitable. So, as you may know, my name is Amanda Alonso, and our VP of Placement next year, Sarah Monago, is here. And we have just put together this really quick deck to show you kind of how the tool works a little bit. Unfortunately, we can't open the tool until it's time. And so I had to put some of the, we've got some screenshots in a deck, but truthfully, it is really easy. And what we can look at briefly is the actual placement catalog, which the entire placement tool is built on. And it's very, very similar. The only difference is just a few questions ahead of time. So we'll just go through that real fast. And I'm sorry, there's a chat. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Yes, you're recording and she can send this out too. So we'll just go through a super fast review of placements. Which is the catalog, show you the not so new placement matching tool. I think this is our third or fourth year now, kind of what to expect, and then any questions that people have. So if you went to either of the placement sessions, we kind of went through this. It shows kind of under what section, and then the available placements that will exist for this year. There were some changes, especially like in fund development. Instead of some of the placements were consolidated under like this flagship events and such. So if you know what you want when we get to the tool, there's a way that you can kind of shortcut to it. But otherwise, you're welcome to look at the entire catalog, make your selections that way. Like Shannon said, she'll send this out. I can send out the deck if you email me at placement@jlb.org. But I've included the descriptions, which are also in the catalog, and kind of the years. All of these you'll notice actually, and we'll see it a little bit later in the catalog, are all bucketed into two different groups. For some reason, it just worked out. All of the placements either list themselves as 20 to 29 hours or 10 to 19, and that gets you those 15 in placement points. And so if you just happen to know that you were looking for something with a little bit of a smaller time commitment, they're all centered around the community placements. Everything else sort of targeted their estimations at 20 to 29. So, basically everything is listed that way. It's got all of the descriptions, EI, comps and tech, etc. So you're welcome to look through all of this because I'm not going to read them, but we will get here. So here's the tool. What happens is we're going to send out a link as soon as placement opens, and there will also be a link on the homepage. And then I'm going to show you another way to get to it if you somehow didn't see it on the homepage, or you lose the email, or it goes into your spam box or whatever. Essentially what happens is when you log in, this tool is actually on the AJLI website. And so you have to be logged in to the JL Boston site, and it pulls in your information and then personalizes it to the person doing it. So if you see a name that isn't yours, that's a red flag. So it should say like welcome, and it'll have your name in there. And it'll ask you to have like a few clarifying questions in the beginning, probably, that you acknowledge the league's mission, blah, blah, blah. You should have two options here that essentially just help to filter the time. So like if you know that all of your 3 choices are going to be among community placements, and that's really what you want. If you were to select 10 to 19 hours, it's going to filter the whole catalog for that. Then, just kind of answer the rest of the questions. It's very easy. And then the tool itself takes from the catalog and it walks you through step by step. So if you have certain skills, honestly, I don't believe that in the back end we have anything tagged to the level. So I don't even know if it's worth bothering to select with any real granularity a level of skill. But if you're interested in utilizing a skill or developing a skill that you do have, then something could be tagged for accounting, or maybe it's project management or whatever, and it will then filter and offer up those placements to you. They're tagged that way. And so if you were looking to get the catalog filtered down to something that's a little more manageable, you can use those and it will offer things up. The thing that I like is when you can get to this part where it says this box, unchecking this box will basically give you the entire catalog. So if you go ahead and you look at the catalog early on and you're like, I know what I want. These are my 3 things that I would like to choose as my first, second, and third placement. You can go to this select a group and find them. You can search them, find them, and select them. And this will just, unchecking the only show recommended will give you all of the things available, which I think is useful. But if you don't know, you can go through and it'll offer up suggestions for you. Some of the, the filters, and I'm just going to show you on the catalog because all of these currently exist. They have some, seasonal things. If you, let's say, have more availability in the fall versus the spring, often, these are going to be tagged by hours. If there is a front loading or a back loading, that information would be put into the catalog, but you're going to see things like how many hours, what skills it's tagged to, etc. And then it's going to ask you, we look for people to select 3 options. And so you'll be able to click and drag. It's really intuitive. And then at the end, you'll be able to submit your selections in order. This whole thing shouldn't take very long. The timeline, earlier we had estimated that we wanted this open actually in June, and we realized, oversight on my part, that the new members actually aren't in the AJLI database until July 1st. And so we had to push placement back. So what we're going to do is our plan is to open it next Friday, July 1st, and then have it open from, the morning of July 1st, basically at midnight AM, through the end of Sunday, the 17th. So a full 2 weeks and a weekend. And historically, members who have gone through this placement tool, everybody has received one of their 3 choices, and almost, somewhere between 75 and 85% of people received one of their top 2. So while there is no actual benefit to doing it on day 1 versus day 12, because everybody is treated the same if they do go through the tool, doing it that way and actually making sure that you do go through placement is a benefit, because otherwise it'll take, some amount of time to then place everybody, and anybody who hasn't gone through the tool gets placed manually sometime before the end of the summer, and those people may not get their first or second choice, just because those placements may be full. So on the website, I wanted to show you where this is. Is it still, let me see if let me get over to, I guess, here. I think this should share the right page. Does everybody see my JLB homepage? I hope. I'm gonna guess. Nobody said no. So to find the catalog, if you go under resources and then placement and info tools and placement registration, The placement matching tool is not open yet. It's going to tell me its placement's closed. If I were to check on it, it's not that it's ended. Well, I mean, it ended last year. So if you were to go there once placement's open, it would say, welcome to you, your name, and let you go in. But right above there is this online placement catalog. And like I was saying, this really does largely mimic the experience of the placement tool. You're able to filter by, that 10 to 19 hours, which really does get you all of the community placements, like I said. Or if you were to look 2029, that gets you everything else. You can check the seasonal locations if you want. These are the tags that actually do exist in some of the placements. There's a lot of them. But also, if you just wanted to see what's available, going to this select group will show you everything that exists. And if you click on one of them, say Finance Council, it'll give you all the information. It'll give you the short description. They'll tell you what skills are tagged for it, the seasons that they're busy, all of the information, if there's any specific requirements. Some are active members only, which isn't an issue for anyone here. But like some do say no new members. And then if they have the committee meeting details, it'll be in there, when their proposed meeting times are, etc. So let me go back and see, I want to check and see. I think that was actually the end of the deck. I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything else in there. So yeah, so Q&A. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
No, thank you. It seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's easy. Oh yeah, so Ashley, yes, as Shannon mentioned, the slated and appointed leaderships are handled differently from the general placement, and also and Sarah can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, currently the only double placement was allowed was for DEI and to hold another placement together. And I'm not sure if that's changing for next year.
To the best of my knowledge, DEI is the only secondary placement that will be allowed, although there's a possibility that we may also be able to join advocacy. So I will definitely double check on that and let everyone know.
Okay, yeah, other than that, it's one primary placement for everyone. Okay, great, Ashley, sorry. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Yes, yeah, Natasha, definitely same tool. We haven't changed anything. It'll basically work the same way. The only thing I really found that I like is the ability to just check the box and get everything. So, it then doesn't matter how much filtering you do if you know that you just want to look at the whole catalog. But definitely go ahead and look ahead of time if you want, because the catalog is up to date with next year's placements in there. All right, Sarah, is there anything you think I missed?
No, you did a great job as always. Thank you, Amanda. And
all
everyone,
right,
if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Amanda or myself.
Yeah, if you want either the deck because you want to look at the pictures, or if you have any questions, definitely just send us an email and we'll get back to you. All right, thank you, Shannon.
Of course, thanks everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, you too.